What's up? This is Trot from Oz.com. This is our NBA show breakdown for Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. Make sure you guys click the link below to get the full breakdown for all the games that we covered. Make sure you hit the link below, Oz.com. Now, the next game, it does seem a little trickier than these other games here. Now, this next game is going to be the Cavaliers taking on the Denver Nuggets at Denver in the Ball Arena at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, again on Wednesday, the 10th of February. This is a long, very long line. That Denver Nuggets are at minus 9.5 favorites against this Cavaliers team. Cavaliers, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Cavaliers. I love the Cavaliers. I honestly believe that they're one of the best teams that I fell in love with early. But as of late, things do change, and things have been changing for the worse for the Cavaliers. Now, let's go with the injuries here. Now, injuries for the Nuggets. It seems like they're really not at that. They're not having any guys that's on the injury list besides Gary Harris that we didn't know about. Now, PJ Dozier is not going to be able to play. He's out, but Gary Harris is questionable for the Denver Nuggets. Injuries for the Cavs, they have Larry Nance Jr. out for 6 weeks. He had a fractured finger in his left hand. I'm not sure if he's getting surgery there, but I believe that was one of the uh, things that found this Cavs team in a bind, and they're having to scramble. It does appear that they're scrambling here. Now the Cavs are also without Kevin Love, who is on this road trip with them, possibly soon to return in the middle of February. That's going to be when they're coming back from to the Cavs. They're on a road trip right now, and I don't think that he's going to be coming back in this road trip. As far as this Cavs team, they haven't covered since the game in Detroit, and that's the game that they won 122 to 107. Detroit just came back today and smacked the Brooklyn. Looks like that's a pretty good win, but honestly, the Cavs have been trash, man. They're 0-7 their last 7 games, ATS. So they only won one game, and after that, they were pretty much to poops, if you be honest there. Now, the Cavs made a starting lineup adjustment. They started Jared Allen at power forward, along with Andre Drummond at the five. It did appear that it kind of made of it does seem like this is affecting Andre Drummond's game, in my opinion. I believe Jared Allen is a great addition, great piece for long term. But if you got a guy that you're trying to keep pushing or try to, you know, ship him off or find a suitor for him, you definitely want to think about getting his stats up and having Jared Allen in the lineup. I don't think that's helping his stats. I like the new lineup though. In the game they didn't win against Phoenix, but that had no Chris Paul in it. So close of a win and a loss in my opinion. 113 to 119 they lost. One call decided this game. It was at 46 seconds. Colin Sexton went to the paint. It did appear that he got fouled, but it was an offensive foul that did make a big swing. If he did get the N1, it did look like he got fouled. If he would have got that, that would have possibly put him up one with the made free throw. I'm sorry. But since that didn't happen, it was on the other way. It was 4 points the other way late in that game, and by the free throw line that got these guys to lose by 6 points at 113 to 119. So having that tough loss, to start your fifth game road trip after already losing the last 3 games, it's kind of tough for this Cavs team. This Cavs team is 1-6 straight up in the last 7 games, 0-5 the last 5 games on the road. ATS, I'm sorry, 1-6 straight up in their last 7 games against this team, against Denver, and they only covered the first quarter 3 times in the last 10 games in the first quarter. I'm looking at this game in a first quarter perspective. Uh, did not see it. I did not see it before this game came on, though. Did not see it before this game on. Actually, I'm going to double check to see if I could get it at FanDuel here. For the most part, I did not see that here. available. But I'm looking at Denver to find some new momentum in their homestand. I mean, after losing the last three games, including the tough loss with the Kings, the Nuggets, Denver Nuggets, I'm sorry, they're eighth in the West. So after losing that tough game to the Kings, they're eighth in the West. I mean, it does appear that uh, Jokic is Jokic or bust for this Nuggets. And Jokic didn't play that well last game. I mean, he had 36 points. I mean, he's going to eat regardless, to be honest. I mean, he dropped 35 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists in their defeat against the Bucks. But it wasn't really his fault they lost to the Bucks. Jamal Murray already knew he kind of was the guy that having a little bit more of a slump after the bubble. He was one of those guys. It seems like Donovan Mitchell was one of those guys, and you know how those guys were going after in the first round of the playoffs last year. That game against the Bucks, it was definitely Murray performance that stand out in the loss. He was 4 from 17 from field goals from the field, 11 points, 4 assists. He said after the game, I've been playing basketball too long to go 4 for 17. I'm getting all the good looks. I've got to be better than this. You know what I mean? I understand that. I understand that having one of those games, you just like, man, I can't get the ball in the rim. It it happens. This is basketball. It's a make or miss lead, as you hear. What he did say afterwards that made me kind of lean towards this first quarter, not along with the stats, but give me an indication that he may be a little bit more focused coming out the gate against a team that's already that's noted to have really good guards in Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. I could see him coming out being aggressive, coming out possibly ruining it. But I think that this is a good team in Denver, and this is a bad first quarter team in the Cavs. Now, what he said after he mentioned that his tough start is that I didn't really. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't really want to be resilient anymore. I want to be the team that hits first. That's what Murray said after the game, after them losing against this Bucks team. They did kind of hit the Bucks first, but it seemed like the Bucks kind of kept it going, kept forcing it, and kind of got these guys out of their rhythm. Now, at a home and away stance, points per game, the Cavs are only averaging 98 points per game. That's plus 17.3 point difference to what the Denver Nuggets are putting up at home. They're scoring 115.9 points per game when they're at home. Both teams are tricky when it comes to pace, though. The Cavs' last three games, they're ranked the 18th in pace. Fifth slowest pace is Denver in that same span. Both are ranked bottom five in defensive rating in that span as well. So I wouldn't take the under on these guys. It seems like they just give up the goods. And I'm looking towards this over because the Nuggets net rating in the first quarter is ranked number one in the league. They have an offensive rating of 128.2, a defensive rating that's pretty good. It's all right, 113.6. This Cavs team, they're just bad in first quarter. So we definitely could look to fade them there. They lost their last game terribly in the first quarter. I believe that will continue here. And it has a lot to do with this matchup. I think Jokic is just one of those guys you just cannot stop, especially when he gets a good matchup that he can take advantage of. This is definitely that. This is a good matchup for him to take advantage of. Jared Allen is a great defender, but he most likely probably won't even be on him like that. It may be Drummond there and finding Drummond on the backside. I don't think that's going to be good for him. So I like this first quarter Nuggets team. And I'm sorry here. I did get it at FanDuel. It's at -3.5, -102. So Nuggets first quarter at FanDuel, -3.5, -102. I like that look. It makes sense to me. I just believe that the Cavs being terrible in the first quarter already on the road. They only covered three of the last 10. This is a team that is number two in net rating against the first quarter. Kind of makes sense to me. And also, they guys are coming out here on the Denver Nuggets. Now, I do want to add, though, that did make me nervous. And I'm just going to add this to be honest here. Will Barton coming out saying that possibly the altitude is affecting them is something I want to look in. But that's something to said there, but I don't think that's going to be affecting us in this spot. I think these guys know that they got to come out here and hot, and the Cavs just doesn't look the same without Larry Nance Jr. He's shooting those threes. He's number one in steals, number one in deflections. That guy's out. You don't really have nobody that could give you, that type of level of athleticism and still be able to produce offensively. What he does is just something that you can't replace in this point. And I'm thinking of fading the Cavs for a long period of time, and it does appear that it is working. Again, they're 0-7 ATS their last 7 games. Not good at all. Not good at all there.